48 hours. Agent Maya Reeves sat across from one of the most dangerous men in the world, high-value ISIS target Khalid Al-Rahman. He knew the location of the next major attack on American soil. Thousands of lives hung in the balance. For 12 hours, CIA interrogators had used every aggressive technique in the playbook: stress positions, sleep deprivation, waterboarding. Khalid said nothing. Now, Maya sat in the small concrete room with just 2 chairs and a cup of tea between them. Her supervisors told her she had 48 hours. After that, the attack would happen and the intelligence would be worthless. They had called her too soft at Langley training, said empathy doesn't work on terrorists, that kindness is weakness in interrogation. Khalid stared at her with contempt. He expected pain. He was trained to resist torture, but Maya wasn't there to hurt him. 48 hours, 1 terrorist, 1 chance to find the truth. Her hands rested calmly on the table. Her voice was steady. She was about to prove that sometimes the softest approach breaks the hardest men. CIA training facility, Langley, Virginia, 6 years earlier. Maya Reeves sat in the interrogation training room watching a role-play scenario. A trainee, aggressive, loud, imposing, leaned over a mock subject demanding answers. "Where's the bomb?" The subject, a trained actor playing an enemy combatant, stared at the wall, silent, defiant. The trainee slammed his hand on the table. "I said, where is the bomb?" Nothing. The instructor stopped the exercise. "This is what you'll face in the field. Subjects trained to resist. They don't respond to politeness, they respond to pressure." Maya raised her hand. "Sir, may I try a different approach?" The instructor frowned. "Reeves, we've been over this. Enhanced interrogation techniques work because they create discomfort. Subjects break when they're uncomfortable." "But what if there's another way?" "There isn't." He gestured to the mock subject. "Go ahead, show us your way, but when it fails, you'll understand why we do what we do." Maya sat down across from the actor. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't lean forward aggressively. "Hi, I'm Maya. What's your name?" The actor blinked, surprised. "I know this is just training," Maya continued, "but I imagine being interrogated is exhausting. Can I get you some water?" The instructor shook his head. The other trainees smirked, but Maya kept talking, calmly, naturally, like a conversation. "You're playing someone who's been captured. That must be terrifying. Not knowing what happens next, wondering if you'll see your family again." The actor's posture shifted, less rigid. "I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to understand what you're feeling, what you're thinking." 20 minutes later, the actor, still in character, was talking about his fictional background, his motivations, his fears. The room fell silent. The instructor cleared his throat. "That was effective. But Reeves, this is a training scenario. Real terrorists aren't going to open up because you're nice to them." The male trainees agreed. "Soft tactics don't work in the field. Empathy is weakness when you're dealing with killers." "You're too soft for this job, Reeves." Maya met their eyes. "Maybe. Or maybe I'm soft enough to get where force can't reach." She graduated top of her class in interrogation techniques, but the label stuck, too soft. Baghdad, Iraq, present day. The black site was a nondescript building in the green zone. No signs, no markings, just concrete walls and reinforced doors. Inside, CIA officers gathered in the operations room. Maya stood in the back, listening to the briefing. "Subject is Khalid Al-Rahman," the station chief said, pulling up a photo. "High-value ISIS target, captured 3 days ago in a raid outside Mosul." Khalid's face filled the screen. Mid-30s, beard, hard eyes. "Intelligence indicates he has knowledge of an imminent attack on U.S. soil. Timeline, 48 to 72 hours. We need location, timing, and operatives." Maya studied the photo. Khalid looked defiant even in the still image. "Interrogation began 12 hours ago," the chief continued. "Standard enhanced techniques. stress positions, sleep deprivation, environmental manipulation, zero progress. Subject hasn't said a word. Collins, the senior interrogator, shook his head. He's trained for resistance. He knows our time limits. He's waiting us out. We don't have time, the chief said. 36 hours maximum. Maya raised her hand. Sir, request permission for a different approach. Collins frowned. Reeves, we've tried everything. Enhanced interrogation is the only language these people understand. We've tried pain and pressure. We haven't tried conversation. This isn't therapy. This is a terrorist, the chief interrupted. Reeves, you're one of our best, but Khalid Al-Rahman is ideologically committed. Empathy won't work. Which is why traditional methods failed, Maya said. He's prepared for pain, not for someone who listens. Silence. 36 hours, the chief said finally. Clean room, 2 chairs. Collins shook his head. You're wasting time. It's my time to waste. 2 hours later, Khalid sat in a smaller room. No restraints, no equipment, just a table and 2 chairs. Maya reviewed his file. Born in Syria. Family killed in coalition airstrike. Joined ISIS afterward. Intelligent, committed. She walked to the interrogation room carrying 2 cups of tea. Set one in front of him. Khalid glanced at it, mocking. You think tea will make me talk? No, but you might be thirsty. He didn't touch it. My name is Maya. If you need anything, water, food, a break, let me know. Where's the torture? I was told Americans love torture. I'm not here to hurt you. Then you've already lost. I will tell you nothing. That's your choice, but I'm still going to sit here, because I think you have a story. Khalid laughed bitterly. You want my story? You killed my family. You destroyed my country. I'm sorry that happened. Sorry. His voice rose. Your bombs don't care about sorry. You're right. Sorry doesn't bring them back. Silence. For 6 hours, Maya sat. Didn't push, didn't demand. Just observed. Prayer beads, worn Quran. Faint wedding ring mark, not just ideology, personal. Hour 8. Maya returned to the interrogation room with fresh tea. Khalid hadn't moved, hadn't touched the previous cup. She sat down without speaking. Khalid watched her. You're wasting your time. Maybe, but it's a nice break from paperwork. A flicker of surprise crossed his face. You think this is a joke? No, I think you're exhausted, sitting in this room for hours, not knowing what comes next. It's exhausting for both of us. Khalid's jaw tightened. I'm not afraid. I didn't say you were. Maya paused. But fear and exhaustion are different things. You can be brave and still tired. Silence. Maya glanced at the prayer beads on the table. Do you pray? Khalid's eyes narrowed. Don't pretend to care about my faith. I'm not pretending. I'm curious. Prayer is personal. It's how people find peace when everything else is chaos. There is no peace, not while your country murders Muslims. You're right. There's been too much death. On all sides. She paused. I have a daughter. She's 7. Every night I pray she stays safe, that she grows up in a world with less violence. Khalid's expression shifted, barely, but Maya saw it. You have children? She nodded. 1, a daughter. Her name is Sophie. She's the reason I do this job, to keep her safe. Khalid looked away. Do you have children? Maya asked softly. His hands clenched. I'm not asking as an interrogator. I'm asking as a parent. Khalid said nothing, but his breathing changed, faster, shallower. Maya waited. After 5 minutes of silence, Khalid spoke, his voice barely audible. A daughter. Maya didn't react, didn't push, just listened. She is 8 years old. What's her name? Khalid's jaw worked. Amira. That's a beautiful name. Tears formed in Khalid's eyes, but he blinked them away. She is everything. Maya leaned forward slightly. Where is she now? Khalid closed his eyes. Safe. With family? With people who protect her. Maya's instincts sharpened. ISIS. Khalid's silence was the answer. Khalid, Maya said gently, is Amira with ISIS. His voice broke. They said they would care for her. After my wife died, they said they would protect her. How did your wife die? American airstrike, Raqqa. She was buying bread. Khalid's hands shook. Your people killed her, so I joined the people who promised vengeance. And Amira, they took her, said she would be trained, educated, made strong. His voice cracked. But I see how they treat children. I see what they do. Maya understood. You joined ISIS to protect your daughter. But now ISIS has your daughter. Khalid's face crumpled. I cannot leave. If I betray them, they kill her. And if you stay? He looked up, tears streaming. They will use her. As a weapon, as a bride for a fighter, as a martyr. Maya's voice was soft but firm. Then help me save her. Khalid shook his head violently. No, if I talk, they know. They kill her immediately. If you don't talk, thousands of Americans die. And ISIS still has Amira. Nothing changes. Khalid buried his face in his hands. But if you tell me everything, Maya continued, we can stop the attack, and we can get Amira out. You cannot promise that. No. But I can try. And right now, I'm the only person in the world offering to help her. Khalid looked at her, desperate, broken. Please, he whispered, save my daughter. Hour 18. Maya sat across from Khalid as he spoke. His voice was hoarse from hours of talking. The attack is Thursday, Los Angeles, Federal Building downtown, noon. Maya took notes. How many operatives? 4. 2 inside, 2 outside. Vehicle-borne IEDs in the parking structure, suicide vests inside the lobby. Names, Khalid gave them, all 4. Locations, safe houses, communication protocols, everything. Maya's hand moved across the page, documenting every detail. This was intelligence gold, enough to stop the attack and dismantle an entire cell, but she kept her face neutral. What explosives? C4, 20 kilograms in each vehicle, 5 kilograms in each vest. Detonation method? Remote trigger for vehicles, manual for vests. Maya paused. Khalid, this is critical intelligence. Why are you telling me now? His eyes were red from crying. Because you are the first person who asked about Amira, not the attack, not ISIS, my daughter. She matters. To me, she is everything. To your people, to ISIS, she is nothing, a tool, a number. He leaned forward. You have a daughter. You understand. I would die for Amira, but my death means nothing if she is still trapped. Maya set down her pen. Where is she? Raqqa, safe house controlled by Abu Khalid al-Masri. He is the one who took her. He uses children for propaganda, for recruitment. Address? Khalid gave it. Precise coordinates, security details, guard rotations. We will get her out, Maya said. I promise you we will try. And if you fail, then I will tell her you died trying to save her, that everything you did was to protect her. Khalid's tears fell freely now. I am a monster. I have done terrible things. You're a father who made impossible choices. That does not absolve me. No, Maya agreed, but it explains you. And maybe that's enough to start fixing what's broken. Khalid wiped his eyes. The attack. You will stop it? Yes. And Amira? We will extract her within 48 hours. How do I know you will keep your word? Maya met his eyes. Because I'm a mother, and I know what you're feeling. That fear that your child is in danger and you can't protect them. That guilt that your choices put them there. She paused. I would move heaven and earth for my daughter. I will do the same for yours. Khalid nodded slowly. Then I have told you everything. Maya stood. Thank you, Khalid. Do not thank me. Just save her. I will. She walked to the door, then turned back. For what it's worth, you're not a monster. You're a man who loved his family and lost everything. What you did next, that was human. Flawed, but human. Khalid's voice was barely a whisper. Will I see her again? Maya didn't lie. I don't know, but she will know you tried to save her. She left the room. In the operations center, the station chief was waiting. Did he talk? Maya handed him her notes. Everything. Attack details, operatives, locations. We can stop it. The chief scanned the pages, eyes widening. This is comprehensive. How did you get him to break? I asked about his daughter. Collins, standing nearby, shook his head. Soft tactics. I still can't believe it worked. Maya turned to him. It worked because he needed to be heard, not hurt, not broken, heard. The chief looked up. Reeves, this intelligence will save thousands of lives. Well done. Thank you, sir. But there's one more thing. Khalid's daughter. She's being held by ISIS in Raqqa. We need an extraction team. We're not in the business of family reunions. Sir, he gave us everything because I promised we'd try. If we don't, we lose credibility with future subjects. The chief hesitated, then nodded. I'll authorize a retrieval operation, no guarantees. That's all I promised him. 48 hours later, a special operations team extracted an 8-year-old girl from a safe house in Raqqa. Her name was Amira. The Los Angeles attack was prevented. All 4 operatives were arrested. 0 casualties. Khalid Al-Rahman was transferred to a secure facility to await trial. He asked only one question. Is Amira safe? The answer was yes. It was 3 months later. Langley, Virginia. Maya walked through CIA training facility. She'd been asked to guest lecture the new interrogation class, the same room where she'd been called too soft 6 years ago. 20 trainees, mostly male, a few female, sat in rows. Collins stood beside the instructor's desk. Agent Reeves, the instructor said, thanks for joining. We've been discussing the Al-Rahman case. Your techniques were unconventional. They were effective. A male trainee raised his hand. Ma'am, with respect, you got lucky. Khalid happened to have a daughter you could exploit. What about subjects without that leverage? It wasn't luck, and I didn't exploit her. I listened to him. But enhanced interrogation is proven, another trainee said. Collins stepped forward. I supervised the first 12 hours of Al-Rahman's interrogation, standard techniques. He said nothing. Agent Reeves sat with him 36 hours. He told her everything. He paused. I was wrong about her methods. Silence. Maya walked to the front. Let me show you something. She gestured to a trainee. Come up here. You're going to play a subject, high-value target. You know something critical. The trainee sat, nervous. Now, Maya turned to another. You interrogate him. Aggressive tactics. The second trainee approached. Where's the bomb? The seated trainee stared at the wall. I said, where is the bomb? He slammed the table. The seated trainee's jaw set, eyes hardened, wasn't going to break. Stop, Maya said. Look what happened. You made him your enemy. Now he'll resist out of pride. She sat across from the trainee. Hi, I'm Maya. What's your name? David. David, this must be uncomfortable, being put on the spot. Yeah, a little. I get it. Public pressure is tough. She paused. Why did you join the CIA? David relaxed. My dad was agency. I wanted to follow his footsteps. He must be proud. He died before I finished training. Maya's expression softened. I'm sorry. It's why I push myself, to honor him. That makes sense. She paused. The hardest part of being interrogated isn't the questions. It's feeling like nobody cares who you are. David nodded. So let me care. Tell me about your dad. For 5 minutes, David talked about his father, his childhood. The class watched, stunned. Maya stood. Thank you, David. She turned to the class. What just happened? A female trainee spoke. You built rapport, made him feel heard. Exactly. If this were real, I'd spend hours finding what matters, his fears, values, guilt. The aggressive trainee frowned. But terrorists don't respond to kindness. They respond to being heard. Everyone does. Maya paused. Khalid didn't break because I was kind. He broke because I was the first person who asked about his daughter, who saw him as a father, not just a terrorist. Colin spoke. The Los Angeles attack would have killed over 1,000 people. Agent Reeves prevented that by sitting and talking. No pain, no torture, just conversation. Maya pulled up a photo. A little girl, 8 years old, smiling. This is Amira, Khalid's daughter. We extracted her from ISIS. She's safe with relatives in Turkey. Silence. Khalid gave us everything because I offered to help save what he loved. That's not soft. That's strategic. She paused. People don't break from pain. They break when they're heard. A trainee asked, "What happened to Khalid?" "Life in federal prison, but Amira visits once a year. He knows she's safe." The instructor stepped forward. "You've proven empathy-based interrogation works. But subjects without a daughter? No leverage?" Everyone has something they care about. A parent, sibling, belief, injustice. Find that, find the door. She paused. Violence locks the door. Empathy finds the key. Silence. Maya picked up her bag. "They called me too soft when I was in your seats, said empathy was weakness. But my methods have produced intelligence that saved over 3,000 lives." She looked around. "Maybe soft isn't the problem. Maybe it's the solution." She walked to the door, then turned. "One more thing. Being soft doesn't mean you don't hurt. It means you care enough to find another way. That takes more strength than cruelty ever will." She left. Behind her, 20 trainees sat in silence. For the first time, they understood. Soft wasn't weak. Soft was the only thing strong enough to break walls violence couldn't touch.